Hi everyone, I'm Vicki Murphy. I am a Jira Align specialist at Valiantys, which is a Platinum Solutions partner with Atlassian. In this video, I will be breaking down the updates to Jira Align with the release of version 10.130. This version was released to Jira Align instances on the continuous release track. This will typically be your test or dev environment if you have one, on February 23rd, 2024, and will be released to all other instances of Jira Align on March 1st, 2024. Let's go ahead and dig into these updates. First, just a reminder about the new navigation UI. This will be rolling out to instances. This will be fully rolled out to instances, meaning the legacy UI will be removed from instances of Jira Align over the next 3 releases. So this release 10.130, the next two 131 and 132 as well. 1 month prior to the removal of the legacy UI, users in your environment will receive a notification in Jira Align, similar to the one on the screen here, letting them know that this change is coming. And Atlassian did mention that if you had reached out to them previously requesting more time before removing the legacy UI, your transition will be included in the 10.132 release. Additionally, if you would like to fully transition to the new UI now, you can submit a support request to Atlassian or reach out to your implementation partner or advisory services representative. Jumping into the tool to showcase a couple of updates, some further updates with the new navigation UI. Moving forward, super admins in Jira Align will be able to see the solution and product menus if enabled, even if you are not assigned to the solution or product team. Previously, even admins had to be assigned to the team to see those options in the drop-down menu. Additionally, in the upcoming release of version 10.130.1, the default program selection and associated warning message will be removed in the new navigation experience, as it only applied to the legacy experience. We also have a few updates in the program room, which is where I'm already at in the tool. Over the last several releases, Atlassian has launched the capacity feature and started introducing capacity data as the source of truth in more parts of Jira Align, and we are now seeing this rolled into the program room. Over the next few months, the changes I'm about to show you can be toggled on or off in the top bar of the program room right here next to the View Configuration button. So we'll just go ahead and toggle that on. Let's go ahead and review these updates. First, a new widget is being introduced when this functionality is enabled, called the Forecast versus Capacity widget. Whenever you first enable this toggle, for me it was auto added to my program room view, but it was in the bottom right corner, and I then dragged it up to the top left here. And if you need to enable it or disable it further, you can go into the View Configuration button. And at the bottom here is the Forecast versus Capacity module. All right, let's do a deeper dive into what this widget is showing you. This is a bar graph that is going to compare the program and its respective teams' forecasted work against the available capacity for features, epics, and capabilities if they are enabled. And this will, of course, be within the PI that is selected in the left-hand navigation panel. Here at the top, you will see that program capacity versus forecast. Right underneath that, you can toggle in between the different work items. Here I have epics and features. If you're using capabilities, you will see that option available. And below that, you will then see the individual teams comparing their forecast versus capacity as well. If you hover over any of these bars, it will give you further details similar to other widgets in the program room, letting you know the exact numbers that went into these calculations. And then for further details on the data that is the source of this widget, you can click here to the exact forecast or capacity view where this data is being brought in from. All right. When we have the capacity functionality enabled in the program room, there will also be updates to the program PI and team PI load widgets and calculations. Let's go ahead and start with the program PI load widget. That is this little individual bar graph right here. Previously, this widget included a toggle to view either the estimated or the actual load of the PI for the program. In this view, you will notice that toggle is no longer available. With this introduced capacity functionality, the estimated view of the program PI load is now removed from this widget, and instead it is intended that we use the forecast versus capacity widget up here at the top. Additionally, the calculation for the actual load has been updated. I'm going to switch to my slides here. The new actual PI load calculation will be the program story points loaded, which is the sum of effort points from all of the stories associated with the program and PI, regardless of what sprint they are in, as long as they are associated with the PI, divided by the program available capacity from that capacity module. Switching back to Jira Align here. And in the release notes, Atlassian did mention that this is really a simpler calculation that no longer requires manual overrides as the previous widget did. Looking at the team load widget here, there really is no change to the interface of the widget, but the calculation has been updated. If we flip back to the slides just to showcase that calculation, the team PI load will equal the team story points loaded divided by the team's available capacity. This calculation will be used for both Scrum and Kanban teams. And again, Atlassian mentions that this just really streamlines the calculation. Let's jump into the forecast page for a couple more updates. In the forecast widget or module here, we have some label changes for some of the columns that you see displayed. This just better aligns the terminology across this module with other modules as well. Now we have the program estimate. This was previously called the program forecast. The team estimate, previously referred to as the team forecast. And if I scroll over just a little bit, we also have the capacity needed column right here. It's cutting off the label for me, but this used to be called forecast percent. Additionally, if you go to the configure columns button, these three fields will be able to be enabled or disabled individually. Previously, they were all grouped under one toggle, so you could either turn them all on or all off, and now they are individual toggles here. Additionally, if you've used this view before, you are probably noticing that there used to be a column here that had a blue arrow on this forecast grid that summed the team estimates to determine the PI estimate. And this functionality that we previously had was really inconsistent. So to provide a better, consistent experience, you can open up the work item here. And you are able to, on the forecast tab, use the quick sum all buttons here to better sum up the program estimate as well as the overall estimate for the feature. Once you do this and press save and close, you will see the appropriate column update over on the forecast module. Here we go. While I have an epic here, I also want to mention that we have an update to the details tab. On our epics and our capabilities, if you have them enabled, the description field can now be a rich text field. The description field can now be a rich text field if you have the formatted text feature toggle turned on. This allows you to apply some rich text to this description. And if you need to turn this on, you can reach out to your implementation partner, your advisory services representative, or Atlassian support. And lastly, in the tool, let's go ahead and take a look at one of the reports that has received some updates, the PI progress report. And I'll just navigate to that here. Program increment progress. This report now has the ability in the extra configs button to be filtered by products. So here we have the product filter. You can choose the appropriate one. Additionally, if you go into the product module from the navigation panel, this report will no longer be available in the left-hand panel under reports. You can navigate to it from the program level and then filter down by product as I just showed. Previously, Atlassian announced that they would be ending support for several reports and modules in Jira Align, beginning with the release of version 10.130. Here is that official announcement. It is linked in the release notes, and you will notice that there are several areas of the tool that will be essentially deprecated and no longer have support. Atlassian did call out that these areas of the tool see very little traffic from their customers, and it will allow them to streamline their updates, providing features that will be valuable to customers and improving those areas that are heavily used in the tool. Atlassian also mentioned that they will give a 30 days notice before fully removing any of this functionality. And that brings me to an announcement in this release, switching back to the slides. In this release, version 10.130, Atlassian is announcing the removal of the reports you see on the screen here in the next release, version 10.131. The system role permission toggles related to these pages will also be removed. And Atlassian did mention that if you are using any of these reports currently, they recommend you capture any data before the release of version 10.131, either using the in-app save or screenshot functions or taking a screenshot yourself. Also, in version 10.133, Atlassian will be removing the Time and Skills tab found on the Epic Details panel. The fields that are associated with this tab, some will be removed fully and some will actually be moved to a new tab. The functionality that will be removed is the process step schedule. Process steps will still absolutely exist in the tool and can still be configured for your work items, but this schedule here on the Time and Skills tab will be removed. Additionally, the skill sets functionality and skills requested section will also be removed. The fixed state milestone functionality will remain. It will actually move to a dedicated milestones tab. And Atlassian also included in the release notes that milestone functionality will also be expanded throughout the tool as well. Just a couple of additional updates. Atlassian has completed the removal of the API 1.0 that was previously announced and carried out over the last couple of releases. Atlassian did include a link to their migration guide to move any integrations, queries, and other practices you may have to the API 2.0. That link is in the release notes. And also the quality module has been fully removed. In this release, there is an update to the API 2.0. It now includes the status report fields for epics with the statuses in sub-endpoint. And as previously announced, the back office service used for on-premise environments for Jira Align has been upgraded from the .NET Framework 4.6.2 to .NET 6.0. This provides improvements to the infrastructure and patching abilities while resulting in some changes to installation and upgrade procedures. Atlassian does have a guide linked again in the release notes to provide any updated instructions on when installing or updating your on-premise environment. This release did include several defect fixes. Some highlights include improving the syncing of the Y field for features between Jira and Jira Align and increasing the value the total fund field can handle in the strategic snapshots as well. You can learn more about the defect fixes or any of the updates previously mentioned in this video in the release notes. We will link them in the description of the video. Thank you all very much. Good luck on your Jira Align journey.